Thank you for coming to my channel. I am going to be involved with the Sandys 13 Frights Before Halloween, and the object or the idea behind this is to give you 13 different projects before Halloween. We are using a variety of different products and materials, and so I thought this was a good opportunity to use up some of the things that I had in my stash that I hadn't used, and I've had them for a long time. And so there will be tutorials for all of the projects. Go ahead and make sure that you read the description box below to see if there are other people's YouTube channels that you haven't yet visited to see what they are making. I hope that you're a subscriber and that you come back for all of the other 12 projects that I'll be making. I am a person who kind of designs as I go. So all I know for this one is that I am going to be altering a jar from the Dollar Tree and making it into some sort of witch candy jar. I also had a pair of like witch's feet that I had purchased a long time ago from the dollar store, and I will be using some paper that I already had in my stash. So my thoughts are that the jar is supposed to sit like this. I'm going to have it upright, and I will have a witch's hat coming up from the top and the feet coming out from the bottom, and we'll just kind of see how it goes. So the first thing I wanted to do is have a base for the hat, and I didn't want to cut a bunch of circles to make it thick enough, and I do have a die that is scalloped. So the diameter of my lid here is about 3 1/4. Is that about right? Yeah, I'd say 3 1/8 to 3 1/4, and the diameter of the scallops I have are about 4, so I did want it a little bit larger. So I'm still trying to decide. I'm going to glue these together to give it some strength. I'm trying to decide if the base of the hat I want it to be round, and I can glue these in a variety of different ways, or if I actually want it to be scalloped on the edge with the hat. I guess I'll decide, because if I move these over, you wouldn't really know that it's a scallop when I'm done attaching them. It will look like a real circle. So we'll see. I don't know what, I might end up doing it like that, because that's what a witch's hat probably is more like. And then I'm going to be using the paper to form a cone to attach to the base of the hat. I'll be using a hot glue gun. I'll be using, like I said, some supplies in my stash. I still want it to be usable, so the reason why this is larger than the lid is so I can still get my hand underneath and open and close the lid. I'll probably attach or put some sort of trim on the jar here so that it covers up the silver, and you won't really see this ribbon anyway because it will be underneath here and you won't see it as much. So the first thing let's do is make the base of the witch's hat, and so that, like I said, the diameter is about 4 inches in diameter. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these pieces together to form the base, and then we'll go ahead and do the top of the witch's hat. So I'm just going to glue them together. I am going to offset them because I didn't have a circle and I had a scallop. So I'm just adding glue and layering them on top of one another. And I did cut a total of 4. Okay, and I'd already glued 2 together. And so my last one here. And again, I'm going to offset it a little bit so it looks more like a circle. Alright, so that gives it some thickness. And that will be attached to my lid. And we'll do that after we have done the decorating of the hat and have the hat all the way together. And then we'll go ahead and adhere it to the lid. I'm going to go ahead now and form the cone section of the witch's hat. And this is a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and you just roll it so that you have a point. And I don't need too large of a hat, so I'm just kind of eyeballing it here, and it's okay. I'm going to keep, it's okay that it's extra thickness. But I need to make sure that when I glue this, that it is smaller, obviously, than the base. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that. And all I did was roll it up. And so I'm going to take, I'm trying to decide, maybe I'll use hot glue to help put it together. And I'm just going to glue right along here to keep it together, and then I'll go and trim the bottom. Alright, I heated up my glue gun, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that seam. You can see that it's open a little bit. I had put a little dab of glue, just using art glitter glue to keep it kind of closed to make it a little bit easier for me as I'm putting the glue in. Some people might want to use, what do you call it? Score tape. And I don't really want to burn my hands. And a lot of this is going to be covered up anyway. And let me put just a little bit more. You know what? I'm going to try using art glitter glue. It's a finer line. And I'll see if I can get that to stay. I'll just put my hand inside there and push down. It's going to take a second for it. I'm just going to push down this way. I have my hand inside the cone, and I'll just push down here for a little bit so that it stays sealed. Okay, so I think the art glitter glue worked better. It takes a while for it to dry, but I think it's got a better seal to it. So the next thing you're going to do is get your scissors, and you want to cut your piece at the right height. So I would rather be a little bit too long than not long enough. So I'm just going to cut up a little bit here and then go across. And it does not have to be perfect. Okay, so let me put that on the base. That's going to be about right. I just need to even it out because when I look at this, it's not straight. It's getting there. Alright, now I am going to put a little bit of glue on the inside here too to keep this together. Okay, give it a second to dry. Now when I do this, I'm going to kind of squeeze it down. I can still see that this is a little bit longer. Alright. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut little slits going around the base of the cone, around the circular part here. And I'm going to go up about probably just about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 of it, probably closer to 1/2. And I'm going to space it out about every inch or so. And that's how we're going to attach it to the base. Okay, so now I'm going to take those pieces and just kind of bend them out here. Like so. See, I'm bending them out. And we're going to put adhesive around the base of this flat part here that we just folded out. And when we glue that on, it's going to look like so, but we're going to cover it with the decoration. So you need to look to make sure you don't need to trim, and I do need to trim a little bit on my tabs here. Some of them are a little bit too long. We don't want any overhang. Let's see if that does it. I think that's going to do the trick. Okay, so we're going to put glue along here, and then we're going to hold it down, and you can use hot glue if you want to. I think I'm going to stick with the art glitter glue. It has a really strong hold. You just have to hold on to it for a little bit. All right, and I'm going to center it. And I'm going to go ahead and around with my fingers, but then I'm going to go around and put some clothespins on there to help it dry. And let it sit for a little bit. And then we can do the decorating of the hat, and that'll hide all those lines and glue and all that kind of fun stuff. All right, so after I have placed those clothespins on there for a while, it did dry. So there's my witch's hat. Let me show you from a side view. Okay, now I do want to take some, I found some velvet ribbon that I had, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue that along the base of the hat. You could do a different color if you wanted. I'm trying to decide, I gotta have, this is my front and this has to be my back because that's where the seam is. So I'm going to go ahead and start at the front center, and I did get my glue gun warmed up again. So I'll just put a little bit of glue on, and then I will put and I'll just continue going around. Now again, this will be covered, but it does, and just in case you can see a little bit through there, I want there to be a little bit of interest, I guess you could say. And I'm going to keep going around. And it's not going to lay 100% perfect because it's round and I didn't snip my lace, or my ribbon, I mean. And let me cut this. All right. Man, that glue just goes everywhere. One more little piece I gotta attach. Get all those strings off. All right, so I also found some spider web stuff, so I'm just gonna adhere a little bit of that around the base. Give it kind of an eerie feeling, so I'll just attach a little bit. I'll kind of have it going up the hat too, like so maybe. Maybe I got too much. So you are seeing a true video of in the process, because as I go, I am thinking about, okay, I could do this next, or I could do this. I don't always have it pre-planned, so Bear with me. Yep, I'll just put a little dab of glue. Remember where my front is. And it doesn't have to be all the way attached. I do want a little dab. Oh my gosh, this glue. I have glue everywhere. All right. So let me show you the front view now. So I have a spider that I'm going to attach here to the side. Actually, I think I'm going to do my, I have some Tim Holtz ephemera, and so I'm going to go ahead and do some layering. And I kind of want it, I don't want it nice and neat, so I'm going to kind of rough it up a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges of some different pieces. And you like, it's good to use different shapes. You don't want all the same, you don't want all squares or all rectangles or all circles. And I think that's all I have. All right, so let's do some layering. So I'm going to put the moon over here to the side, and I'll just use my art glitter glue. It keeps getting clogged. I need to clean it. All right, let me try that again. There we go. And I'm just going to attach, I want the moon hanging off, like so. And then I'll just have this little piece sticking off to the side. I'll kind of tuck it underneath the end part of the moon, like so. And now let me glue that bottom piece. All right, so now I think I'll just tuck this kind of to the side. I think I'll use this very runny glue here. So I just put a line of glue on the back. And I'm just going to stick that to the hat like so. Let's see. Let it dry, and then I'm going to add the spider, I think, next. And so I'm just going to put some glue around the outside of the body. I think I got this from Dollar Tree too. Might put a little dab on some feet at the end. Okay, I'm just pushing that down, letting it dry. And let's see, I have this broom. Maybe I want the broom coming out. I think I do. So I'm going to put some glue down here in this spider stuff, spider web. And I'm going to tuck that in there like so. So I got to take a look at it every once in a while to see if it needs anything. I think I want to spread the cobweb around a little bit. Need to add some glue back here. let's see. I think that's going to work. I don't want it to be too gaudy. So I'm going to go ahead now and make sure everything's adhered real well so it doesn't come off. And then I'm going to glue this. No, I think I'll put the ribbon on the, I'm going to use the same suede velvet ribbon around my lid. And I do have some of this twine, so maybe I'll make a bow and add that to the hat also. I think I will add a bow somewhere. All right, let me get caught up on the gluing. All right, let's go ahead and add some glue along the edge of the lid and place our trim. All right, so let's go around. Let me cut this off so it's not so hard to work with. All right, so let's finish up the trim on the lid. Okay, so now I'm going to place glue all along the base of the top of the lid, and then I'll attach my witch's hat. And I want to make sure that I center it as much as possible. All right. I think I need... Okay, I'll let that dry off to the side. Need another glue stick. So now I'm going to want to put the feet on the base of the jar, and I'm going to have to cut off these wood dowels, and they're not going to be super sturdy. I'm just going to be gluing them right up against that glass, so like so. And I feel I'm going to put candy corn inside of here, so I'm not going to put anything on the side. I think the color of the candy will be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and place glue on the top here. I'm just going to stick that underneath and let it dry. And I'll do that to the next one also. All right, so there's the bottom, and let's have to make sure I put this lid on right so that it all right. So I will take a picture. It's kind of hard to show you what that looks like, and it's hard to show you in the camera. So I will take still pictures, and that's what my thought process is as I craft. I don't have things in mind, so I stopped the video a couple times just so you didn't have to watch my thinking process. But I think it'll be cute when it has the candy corn in it. But that is day number 1 of the Sandys 13 Frights Before Halloween. So check out your Dollar Tree, see what they have for decorations. The jars are, they usually carry those on a regular basis, and they have a lot of Halloween stuff that you can purchase to add to your witch's hat also. All right, I'll fill it up with candy corn and I will take a picture and show it at the end. And thank you, and join me for the next one also, which will be a week from today. So I thought I was done, but I'm not. So I'm back to show you one last thing. I looked at the candy jar and thought, something's missing. It's kind of boring. So I had some black gathered fabric, and it looks like this. I don't know if you can see it very well. And I just glued a strand here of orange and black ribbon. And now I'm going to attach that to the jar so it looks like she's wearing a dress. So when I glue this, I'm going to put glue on the back of my fabric, and I will put then that, I'll glue that onto the jar. So it will look like this. To me, that looks much more witchy. Okay. So that's how I'm going to end up doing it, because I thought it needed something. So now I'm done. Now I hope that if you have any questions, let me know. And now there's 12 more frights left.